What's up? Welcome in on this hump day, May 20th, 2026. Another edition, a rousing edition that'll last longer than a Ronda Rousey fight. I'm not getting off of that, dude. I would have been furious if I was at that. But we will last longer than that. And if you followed the show long enough, you know on Wednesdays is usually kind of where the show goes off the rails. Fortunately for you, Vegas Mac is not here tonight to take us off the rails. However, when we get to crossing streams, our plays for tomorrow, I'm going to tell you how he's trying to self-sabotage my bank account with his hell of a reach and bold play of tomorrow's games. But plenty to talk about tonight. We've obviously got Knights and Avs game 1 of the Western Conference Finals going on. The Alien is back in Oklahoma City. That game just tipped off game number 2. So we're west, east from here on out as we'll get Carolina going tomorrow. We're actually going to kind of preview the Western Conference Finals on the ice and the Eastern Conference Finals while the Western Conference Finals have started, because you don't need to know who my pick is because I've already said it. Go Knights, go, baby. We're going to talk about the Knights. We're going to talk about the Spurs. We're going to talk about the hottest team in recent memory in Major League Baseball right now, and it definitely isn't your team. It definitely isn't my team. How in the hell are you, brother?
Oh, I'm going to have some things to say later about baseball for sure. But, you know, it's Wednesday. This Western final should be really, really good. You got two teams. One is kind of like a buzzsaw in a way right now. And then you've got another team that's just kind of like doing their thing and getting through. And that's all you got to do in these series is get through. And so far, they've been playing a perfect road game.
Plenty to talk about on tonight's program. You're going to actually get 2 references to WWE and TKO throughout the show here. You'll figure out why as we go along the way. We'll talk about what we saw last night. Holy shit. You know, we've talked a lot, T, about how just absolutely weak the NBA playoffs for the totality of it has been so far. I don't know how we can get any better than what we've seen in both game ones, but I'm all for it as, again, Oklahoma City and San Antonio just underway from OKC right now, 3-0 Oklahoma City early in that one. But, man, vibes last night from New York. I don't even, much like what Mac and I were talking about game 1 of the Spurs Thunder series. You know, and it was a sloggy, sloppy, muddy, ugly first half, which I think a lot of us expected with the layoff for the Knicks. Yep. But holy shit, did that thing in the second half, man, go just absolutely crazy. And Mac and I were talking right after the show, and it was about 3.5 minutes left in the game. And I go, I don't know what it is on Tuesdays. At the end of this damn show, whatever is on starts to lose its damn mind. And thankfully, I got to see a lot of basketball after that point. What did you make out of that mess at the Garden last night? The miracle at the Mecca that some people are referring it to.
Yeah, first off, I was very impressed by the Knicks. I thought they showed a lot of mettle coming back. What was it? They were down 20, I think it was. It seemed
24
to me,
at one point late.
It seemed to me it was,
or 22,
kind of out of nowhere, because this team was just kind of looked like they were just waiting to get to the end there. And then all of a sudden, man, they went absolutely BS crazy. Look, the NBA is better when the Knicks are good. That's just how it is. And sorry that the Cavaliers were the sacrificial lambs last night. Great comeback for the Knicks. Give them their credit. They did what they had to do. They move on. I mean, they outscored Cleveland. What was it? 14-3 in the overtime. That's just a 5-minute ass whooping for a playoff game.
It was ridiculous, dude. The largest fourth quarter comeback in the second largest fourth quarter comeback in the last 13 years. 24 points. The Clippers came down from Memphis a couple years ago. You remember that crazy game. The Knicks were down 22 with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left. A 44-11 run to close out that game. So obviously we'll get more into the nuts and bolts of that as we go along. But as is customary, if you're watching along, welcome. Feel free to comment along. If you've got a question, we change topics. We'll get back to it for sure. We'll put as many of them up on the screen as we can. Follow us on all of our social channels at Mike Arana Show everywhere. But where and why, T?
For everybody in the back, everywhere but Snapchat, because we're not 12 and Snapchat sucks.
I am 12. You can sign up for our newsletter, MikeAranaShow.com/links. Once a week, comes out on Tuesdays. Some betting nuggets. It'll keep you up to date on what's going on with the show. We're about to enter our summer schedule, if you will, where we're Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the middle of the day for you. Plenty of stuff to talk about, as is customary at the top of the program. Start with a little headline fire, and I'm going to give you the first salvo off the bowels today.
I got so I'm in this fantasy baseball league. It's a keeper league. It's really cool because it's got people from all over the country, which is always cool because then you get to see all the different stadiums and all the different places that people go to watch games. Well, one of our guys who's a big Tigers fan happens to live in Chicago and got to see Max Boy the Miz last night for the Brewers. He was dazzling. Are the Brewers legit threats to win the NL Central again?
I don't know, man. There's something about them this year, and I think the Central's we've talked about the Central a lot. Like, you've got Milwaukee, who's the second hottest team in baseball right now over the last 20 games. You've got Cincinnati, who is tied for one of the worst teams in baseball over the last 20 games. And then the Pirates are just kind of still a little bit of an anomaly in there. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Cubs and the Brewers are at the top of it. There's just, and maybe it's because of the slow start and the expectations were super high off of what they did last year with the Brewers. Mm-hmm. There's something about them that I can't quite put my finger on yet that I don't see in them that I saw last year. They have been dealing with some injuries and stuff like that. But when you've got, the Miz going out there, he's now 4-2 on the season. He goes 6 last night, 3 hits, no earned, 8 Ks and a walk in the victory at Wrigley Field for the Brewers as they close the gap on the Cubs there. But and it's been driving me nuts because I can't quite pinpoint it, and maybe it's just a little bit slower start. It's the Brewers. We know they're going to hang around even when we think they're not going to. I think one of the coolest things going on in baseball right now is the success that Milwaukee and Tampa are having, both of them. So I still lean towards the Cubs, but I know the Brewers are going to be there, Mm-hmm. Like, we know they're going to. There's just something that's off on this Brewers team that I can't quite pinpoint. And it's really driving me crazy because it's made them kind of a pain in the ass to bet on because they have been a little inconsistent to start the year.
Well, yeah. I mean, last year was absolutely bananas. And I thought they were going to take a step back because of some of the deals that they made over the offseason. But holy smokes, this team just comes out and they're just doing it again. And like you're not paying attention a whole heck of a lot. And then like I haven't been paying that much attention to the NL Central specifically, right? Like sometimes I watch the Cubs when they're on, or I've been watching some of the Braves, even though it's NL East. But then I look at the standings, because if I look at the standings every freaking day, I'll go bananas. It's just because it's such a grind. They're almost at 30 wins. And it's like there's only 2 teams. Well, there's 3 teams with more wins: the Cubs, the Dodgers, and the Braves. That's pretty good company to be in as far as a winning baseball team goes. And like, I can't put my finger on what exactly it is. Is it the magic of Pat Murphy? I mean, he seems to be pressing all the right buttons. They do have great players. But yeah, I'm just looking at him going, I'm expecting the Cubs to run away with this division, and they're just not doing it. And it's the Brewers who are in the way.
No, and I mean, that's the crazy thing about the Cubs is, and Mac kind of mentioned it last night too, is They've had two different 10-game winning streaks this year. I mean, they've been extremely streaky, a hard team to kind of peg, and I think that's why we're set up for a hell of a summer in the Central. I'm going to stay in baseball here and talk about the other team that's been really impressive, and it's going to be an interesting weekend. But the Rays now 17-3 in their last 20 games. Is it time to take them for real, or do we need to wait till this series this weekend at Yankee Stadium comes to a finish before we can say, okay, we've seen everything we need to see. This team's dangerous?
Any team that jumps out and reels off a 17-3 streak, you have to take seriously. This weekend will basically confirm expectations that they are indeed back, or confirm they're the Tampa Bay Rays and they're just, playing for second place in that division baseball team. Look, this is all, I think it's all moving back into their old home. I think that's a huge deal for this team. And you can see, even though their crowds are small and they tarp off the upper deck and whatever, look, that they were out of their comfort zone last year. Their entire way of baseball was disrupted for a whole year. Of course, they're going to go into the toilet, so to speak. So I think that's all about going home and getting back to some sort of normal life. Second in hits, second in batting average, third in on base. I mean, this team, the only thing they don't seem to do is hit a whole lot of home runs. But I mean, their record is hard to argue with.
No, and that was one of the things that Evan Klosky from 10 Tampa Bay brought up with me a couple weeks ago is specifically like, this is a team that's designed and built to win at Tropicana Field. Chandler Simpson, he's a slap hitter. That's why he looks a lot better at home than he does on the road. Mm-hmm. The Rays look fantastic at home right now over the course of the start of this season right now. They're 19-5 at home. The Yankees are 16-6 at home. Both teams about 500, a couple games over 500 on the road. Actually, let me scratch that. 14-10 for the Rays, 14-13 on the road for the Yanks. But you're talking about the two teams in the American League with the highest run differentials. The Yankees at a +70, the Rays at a +40, and kind of adding to the luster, if you will, of this series. This luster. Well, that was an interesting way to say that.
I like that.
Adding to the mystique of the series, if you will, this weekend. On Friday night, Tampa Bay will throw out Nick Martinez, and the Yankees, for the first time this season, will throw out Garrett Cole. When you go into the rest of the weekend, you've got Drew Rasmussen and Ryan Weathers on Saturday, and then Sunday's matchup, the series finale there at Yankee Stadium, you've got Shane McClanahan, who's been absolutely fantastic for the Rays. Came within a whisker of setting the consecutive scoreless innings streak for the Rays. He'll be opposed in that game on Sunday by Will Warren. So for the Rays, they get Cole back. I haven't heard if he's going to be on a pitch count. I would assume he's going to be. But they also avoid Cam Schlittler, who is supposed to be pitching tonight. That game has still not gotten underway from Yankee Stadium, so I don't know if that ends up changing Aaron Boone's rotation going into that Tampa Bay series or not. Tomorrow they do have another game with Toronto. Toronto has not named a starter yet. Carlos Rodon, who just recently came back, will go for the Yankees. The Twins or the Rays, I should say, have an off day and traveling to New York. And I was talking to Mac about this last night, T, and maybe it's because we're into that, like, hey, we got one basketball game, one hockey game every night. I mean, last night sucked with no hockey game. It was really weird, but thank God the Knicks and Cavaliers gave us enough to pay attention to. But, like, there's some games this weekend and some series this weekend that I'm really looking forward to. One of the other ones I told him I was looking forward to is the White Sox are in San Francisco to take on the Giants. Yep. And I'm going to be watching, not because I want to watch the Giants. I want to see if our boy Mooney can hit one off the Bay Bridge in that series.
He's got power.
I have power.
And
all right, fire away.
Wasn't the stat that you gave me a couple weeks ago that he's hit a home run in every opening game of a series up like 7 or 8 in a row?
Yeah, he had 8 in a row, and then the streak came to an end. But, like there was a promotion on one of the betting apps that doesn't pay our bills, so I won't tell you who it is. But you picked a guy on Friday, you had to make a minimum $10 bet. And whether he hit a home run or not, you got a $5 bonus bet for every home run that his team hit for the weekend. So that White Sox Cubs series last weekend was a lot of fun for me, and basically like replenished my bankroll. And we're going to talk about some betting stuff here in a little bit, but like I needed that. There's a lot of series this weekend I'm really excited to see. Obviously, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, and the playoff series that are going on in hockey and hoops, that'll carry through the weekend too. So, again, another weekend where we've got nothing but options here. Fire away, will you?
Do you believe in the curse?
This one? This guy?
That's the one. That is the guy.
Human monies, man. Right now, I want to give Danhausen human monies to see if he can end what I seemingly am cursed at right now. I'm really not enjoying betting home runs anymore. I think it's about time to take a home run break because we are fully engulfed in the Mike is making T disappear off the screen. Let's try that one again. Click the right button, stupid. There we go.
God
hey,
dang
he's
it,
back.
Danhausen. You didn't put a curse on me.
Danhausen. If you're not familiar with Danhausen, he is a WWE superstar, and busting Stephen A's chops has been his favorite pastime. He accepted human monies to curse the Cavaliers, and shit, man, I don't know if you could curse the Cavaliers any worse than you did last night, because and this is the thing. This is why I picked the Knicks at the beginning of the year to win the East. I took the Knicks to win the East, the Warriors to win the West. Obviously, laugh at me all you want. The Warriors did not come close to winning the West, and it was kind of a pipe dream. I wanted a good payday, but the reason I went with the Knicks is because of Mike Brown. The irony in this series, the second winningest coach in the history of the Cleveland Cavaliers is Mike Brown. And like, what he's done with their offense, their defense sucks. Like, let's just call it what it is. Their defense is terrible. They're going to have to win a championship if they are lucky enough to do it this year offensively.
Yeah.
But turning Cat into like a point center was probably one of the smartest things he did there, because it really has opened up their offense to a crazy level. Do I believe in curses? Yes, I do. I am trying to see when WWE is in town next and Danhausen will be here, because I will gladly give him some human monies to uncurse my home run bets, because it's going to be a long summer right now. If I keep on the pace that I'm at, I might be homeless.
Dude, man, I mean, holy smokes. Like, just that last...
The Nickhausens are on fire.
That last 7 or 8 minutes, I mean, if they do it again in game 2, they might have to build this guy a statue outside the Garden. I mean, it's going to be that bananas. And how, you know what? They got to keep bringing him back. They have to.
Right.
It's like the harmonicas at the Kings playoff games. They have to. It's working. You have to bring him back every single home game.
I think you absolutely have to. And if you're the Knicks right now, and like, here's the other thing. We'll get more into this when we get into the nuts and bolts of the game last night. But for the love of God, can somebody tell Stephon Marbury it's not 2007 where coaches wear suits on sidelines and you are, in fact, sir, not actually the coach of the Knicks? The dude was on the low block for like the last 8 minutes of the freaking game. This is what drives me nuts about the Knicks being good. And I do agree with you. The Knicks need to be good because it's great for the game. But holy shit, can I stop with the Ben Stiller, the Timothy Chalamet, the Pete Davidson, the former Knick player Cam, and focus on the guys that are playing in the series, ESPN? I don't need to see it 24/7. And tell Marbury to sit his ass down. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be all about Spike, but now it's like Spike's like the last guy we see. We see right? Everybody else. It's like, holy smokes. I agree. Like, let's watch the players and give me some more Danhausen.
Oh, you can never go wrong with more Danhausen. So let's stay in the NBA theme here. First time in NBA history that both conference finals opening games went to overtime. We talked about it. The NBA playoffs haven't been great. Mm-hmm. These two series, and again, I'm looking at the score here, 20-20 in Oklahoma City, 3:30 left in the first period. So why do you think we've gotten to this point? And Mac and I kind of talked about this a little bit, so I'll phrase it the same way I asked you that I asked him last night. For a league that seemed like it had a lot of parity, none of that parity has shown up in the postseason because it's been relatively awful. Why do you think that is?
I think we just got. I honestly think we just lucked out with the matchups here. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's no well, there is a huge reason. Like Detroit stunk it up in Game 7, but
Right.
this could easily be a Detroit Knicks series that could be going the other way. You don't know that. And then likewise in the West, I think the West, man, I hate to say it for all my Knicks fan friends, but I think the West is the NBA Finals right now. And these two teams are so good and have been built such the right way that this is like, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Spurs and Thunder for the next 10 years in the West Final. I mean, that's how good these teams are. But I think it all just boils down to the matchups. I think we've weeded through some. I mean, look, Knicks Cavs. The Cavs are not sexy at all. Like we all wanted somebody else, but it's a good matchup, and so we're lucking out with that matchup. But Spurs Thunder, that is an excellent matchup. That is high on the sexy list, and I'm loving every second of it. Give me 17 of these games. That's fine with me. This is good, and what it does is it gets people who normally only watch basketball once the calendar flips to April and the playoffs start, gets them more interested, more invested in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of the things we talked about very specifically with college football and the college football playoff a bunch of times. And a perfect reason why you don't need to expand the college football playoff any further than it already is. I don't need to see an 8-7 team in the postseason. I want best on best. And with the exception, I would say, of the Pistons, I think the 8 teams that are still playing are 7 of those 8 teams are best on best. Again, I think the Detroit New York series would have been better. Yeah, I said what I said, Cleveland. You have James Harden. He doesn't win. He gets ISO'd a hell of a lot and picked on by an offense down the stretch for good reason. But I mean, that's what we want to see here. So if the NBA playoffs from this point forward is kind of mind blowing and like holy shit moments every night, then we lucked out. It remains to be seen, but at least so far in the follow up game in Oklahoma City, it looks just as good. Hockey wise, 0-0 in the first intermission in Denver.
Yeah,
fire away, my friend.
I'm totally invested in these conference finals right now on both sides. I don't know. I'm sure you've seen this. There's been this trend lately where, like, all of a sudden in the 8th or 7th or 9th innings or whatever, there's like 300 fans just tarps off, rolling them around. Hey, and then their teams are winning. It's like it. Once again, we get back to that question we asked last week about superstitions. But if it works, you have to keep doing it. Mike, what would the stakes need to be at a Giants or Sharks game for you to go tarp off?
First of all, nobody wants to see that shit. Second of all, I don't think the Giants could do anything right now to make me that fired up about seeing the Giants.
That's why I included the Sharks, by the way.
Thank you for that, because that was the end of my answer there. The Sharks, I'm convinced that with Macklin Celebrini on the Sharks will win a Stanley Cup. I don't know if it's going to be the first time they go. It wouldn't shock me. Mm-hmm. And I know that's a bold-ass statement, but when you look at what's on the ice there, it's hard to argue that, especially adding another great young piece, which should be Reed in the draft this year. I think if I was in the building in the tank and the Sharks won the Western Conference Championship and got back to the finals, that would be tarps off for me. Again, nobody really wants to see that. I mean, thank God I'm not damn near 300 pounds like I used to be, but it's still nothing pretty to look at.
Well, I noticed that most of these kids are like young kids, and I think, what was it last night? There was it in Tampa Bay, I think it was, and then you see these older dudes go and running across to like be the reinforcements. It's like, I don't really want. Nobody wants to see this tarp off either. But if the Angels could get to like 70 games, 70 wins, not 70 games, they might not even make it through 70 games this year. But if they were going to get that 70th win, I might be like tempted to go maybe your look, maybe half tarp off, maybe sporting the guns. If the Raiders got to 7-8 next year, and that game in Arizona, I might have to show up and be like kind of maybe one of them Barbie Ken half shirt tarp off. So like my guts hanging out.
Little midriff.
Yeah, maybe a lot of midriff there. But I just think I think this is, you know what? It's good. It's good for the fans. This whole thing is great for fans. It's great for the media. And the players seem to like, I love it. Let's have more of it. I hope all these teams do great.
Yeah, it was really cool. And if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out, people. It started in St. Louis with the Cardinal fans. Cardinals obviously playing way above where any of us expected them to go. And I don't remember who it was. I'm pretty sure it was last night's game. They had a walk-off, and the dude who hit it, he pointed right to the tarps off section, and they were loving it. So, like, I think it's a great thing for baseball right now. It's a great way to bring some newfound energy into an old, stale, tired, old, crusty white man type of game 100%. That we need. They might need to do it tonight because they're down 2-0 in the fourth right now to the Pirates. We heard today that Aaron Rodgers is claiming and saying that for sure this will be his final year. Basically, the reason that he decided to open his mind to coming back, it sounded like he was going to retire, but when the Steelers hired his boy, Big Mike, that opened his mind up to coming back. So let me ask you this. With all kinds of changes we know in the AFC North, do we get a deep playoff sunset ride out of A-Rod and Big Mike this year?
Oh man, Vegas Mac. I don't know what to tell you, brother. No, I think they get as far as probably another week 18 elimination game, and then I think they're going to be done. Is this really like his last year, or is this like the Motley Crue tour that is like in its New Year's Eve 2015 was supposed to be the last Motley Crue show, and I just got an email about 2-for-1 tickets for their show in Long Beach in August. So that's 11 years too long. But I think this is it for him. But it's not going to be. It's not going to end in a playoff run. Sorry, Mac. It's going to end with another one of those NBC primetime elimination games.
Well, at least Vegas Mac can say he saw Aaron Rodgers play in his final season in the NFL live, because that is the rumor on the streets that he is going to get out there with Mama Mac to a home Steeler game this year, which I'm excited for him for. And then
at the ketchup, or what do they call it now?
Yeah, Acrisure now, but it's still the ketchup bottle. But here's the thing with Mac, though. So I was talking to him about the trip, and like after the schedule came out, I'm like, hey, did you kind of pinpoint a couple of days? Because obviously Mama doesn't want to go when it's too cold, and I can't blame her there because it looks miserable when it's cold.
Dude.
But I'm like, hey, what about, like, did you look at the, you got a chance to maybe double dip this thing? He's been to PNC Park, but I'm like, you could go see the Pirates and the Steelers. And Mama's a big baseball fan too, so it's not like you have to twist her arm there. And he's like, dude, for like, he told me the two games, and like for every day before he would get there, the Pirates are home, and then they go on the road. And then typical Vegas Mac, he goes, Pitt's playing Bucknell on that Saturday before the Steelers game, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't even have to pay to get into that damn game, but it's a smart move because you can go check out the stadium, see everything you want to see. The only thing that's going to change overnight is some of the colors and the team store, I would assume. But apparently he's going to try and pull off Bucknell and Pitt. Why, I have no idea. But like, that's my thing, T, and maybe this is a supplementary question. Like you and I have done this a couple times, so I kind of know the answer. But like, if I'm going somewhere to go see a game that is maybe the only time I'll go see a game there, I'm going to probably try and go check out one of the other teams and schedule the trip accordingly. Like, you got to do it that way, right?
100% you have to do it. You got to get the most for your, especially with travel right now being kind of a circus and as expensive as it is. You have to do that. And plus it just makes the experience better. Like my buddy Steve and I are talking about a road trip to Salt Lake, and we're already putting it in the thought bucket here, and we're like,
3-2.
what else? What could we? Yeah, we're gonna drink a lot of 3-2 beer. But like, what else can we get in there? Can we get in there a BYU football game? Can we get a Utah football game? Can we get a BYU Utah football game? So
the Holy War would be ridiculous to see him.
Oh, it'd be awesome, especially with no rooting interest. But yeah, you have to just maximize as many events as you can in order to make it worth your while. So go see Pitt and Bucknell, go see Duquesne and whoever they play, and go do it. Go do your thing, Mac.
Yeah, that's a bucket list trip for him. So I told him we're going to try and get him a GoPro before he shows up. All right, fire away. One more each here, and we'll move on.
All right, dude. So Vegas playing Colorado tonight. Game 1, 0-0 after 1. My buddy sent me a text today saying, I think I might have to buy this. There it is, a take on the 1996 Rage Against the Machine album, Evil Empire. Are the Golden Knights the NHL's Evil Empire?
Ooh. That's a really good question, dude, because I would tend to say yes, but I think that's slightly biased because of my personal fandom and why I don't like Vegas. I still think the Panthers, despite missing the postseason, are kind of like the evil empire in hockey, and I think everybody's going to hate it next year when they're all actually healthy and they can go back and try and do what they were trying to do this year. I think Vegas is definitely like, I mean, you go back to the old school stuff, and that's easy to do. We could say the Red Wings, we could say the Maple Leafs. I think the Minnesota Wild have a good chance to become that, because I was doing some digging and doing some reading today, and I'm pretty sure one of the two big fish from Canada is going to end up in the state of hockey. That's just something I can foresee happening with what's going on in both Toronto and Edmonton. I think that would make Minnesota instantly like evil enemy number one. Yeah. But I still think it's Florida. I think Vegas would be your like Western Conference evil empire, but I think there's more people that hate Florida than that do hate Vegas. I think we're still a couple more years before Vegas turns into like a really hated team across the NHL, because I think that it's still so new. Despite their ridiculous success, I still think it's kind of new. Where like, and I think that's one of the good things, and we've talked about this a lot, T. Like, I think that's one of the good things that the game of hockey has going right now is you've got so many teams that haven't been very good for a long time that are getting really, really good, and it's really, like, we talked about parity and how that's impacting the NBA playoffs. I think the parity that we're going to see next year with a thin free agent class, a rising cap, I think we're going to see a lot of guys in different sweaters next year, because trades is how you're going to have to rebuild or build. I'm excited for next season already, and I'm geeked to all hell about the 4 teams we still have left.
So Vegas in 9 seasons has made the playoffs 8 times. They have 1 Stanley Cup. They've had 2 finals appearances. They have the most playoff wins in the NHL since 2017 when they came into the league. They have still yet to draft and develop a first-round pick. They seem to get every single number 1 trade bait guy on the board. I think that they are. I think they are the evil empire because of how bad the Detroit Red Wings and Toronto Maple Leafs have been. Well, Toronto Maple Leafs. Someone told me today, because I sent that same picture to another buddy, and he said the Toronto Maple Leafs will always be the incompetent empire. But it's, I'd always thought
entirely fair.
I always thought it was Detroit, because Detroit was so good for so long, and I now think it can lean to Vegas because of all the immediate success and the just cutthroat methodology that their front office uses, but people want to play there. It is a great organization. Mr. Foley he's going to start a PWHL team. Fantastic. I love all that. He is the right guy for this job. And so I'm sure the Vegas fans are just like, yeah, we're the evil empire. What are you going to do about it? Come beat us.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the San Jose PWHL team kick the shit out of the Vegas team just to add more layers to the conversation there. But yeah, even when the draft thing is very interesting too, because as we saw, they lost their second round draft pick, the $100,000 fine for not speaking to the media. Steve Levy tonight, he goes, "I guarantee you, John Tortorella will speak to the media today." But like it's a great point because if I'm remembering off the top of my head right, you had Haig, you had White Cloud, and I believe Dorofeev, and those are really the only three guys that have ever kind of been homegrown and actually worth a damn for Vegas. And that is another thing. I think you make a hell of a point there on the Knights is like you're doing this you're cheating the system because you're not developing the younger players. You're just taking everybody available, but do it. That's what we want to see. That's why we hate the Dodgers. We can hate the Knights for the same reason. We can hate the Oklahoma City Thunder for those reasons. Nobody in the NFL is really following that model, but it's not really easy to do in the NFL.
No, but sports is better with a villain, right? It's way better. It's better when the Ducks can go against the Knights and you can go, God, I hate that freaking Knights team. That's sports are better that way. So good for Vegas for building what they built. That they deserve all the credit.
Yeah, I do have to get to the fort. I've been to the Fortress for a concert. I've never been there for a hockey game, but that's got to change. Alex Kobe Caruso just hit his first three for Oklahoma City. That has a 5-point lead early in the second period. Second period is underway in Colorado. Before we get into what happened at the Garden last night, just because they just showed it there, I don't know if I've ever asked you this question. Have you ever, Mr. Music Man, have you ever seen a concert at Red Rocks in Colorado?
I have not, and I've been talking about that for 11 years at this point. I need to go.
Dude, that place looks incredible.
Oh, it's fantastic. You can actually run the stairs every morning.
No, I'm good.
And then so you run the stairs in the morning, go do your thing, go hit a show in the evening. Yeah, incredible.
I just want to sit way up top because I heard the contact high from the people at the lower part of the bowl was.
Go to a fish show, you'd love it.
I mean, you always got to partake in the local vitamins. I mean, it's just as good as local honey. Speaking of sweet, last night, the way that the Knicks were able to force James Harden into switch positions and isolate him. Hey, our guy Billy V checking in. Yeah, like maybe we just need to do it. Maybe we need to do the Mike Arana show live from Red Rocks. There'll be like 9 people there, but we can say we did it.
Go see the Rockies in the afternoon, and then go see a show at Red Rocks in the
Hell yeah.
Tarps off.
Craft beer capital of the country. Hell yeah, I'm in. All right, back to what happened last night at the Garden. I have one simple question to start after seeing what we saw. Where in the hell were James Harden and Donovan Mitchell down the stretch last night? I mean, talk about completely disappearing when your team needs you the most, dude.
Well, I mean, and that's the reputation that James Harden has. He's not a winner, and that 12 and a half minutes is a perfect example of why I picked the Knicks to win this series. That is the 100% example there. I want winners. He's not a winner.
Nope. And that's exactly it. I mean, like,
that's such an incredible graphic.
To quote one of our faves, our girl Sarah Lang's slangs on sports, she would just say "wee" on this one because that's what it was last night. And like the complete disappearance down the stretch out of those two last night. And I agree with you. Like, you know, everybody's been busting my chops about how I've been riding the Knicks all year. It's like, hey, I have stake in the Knicks. I've had stake in the Knicks all year to win the Eastern Conference for a reason because I believe in Mike Brown. But, like, you're giving them the perfect friggin' matchup here. And I know what's going to happen in this series. I think New York wins it in 6 because there's going to be a couple of days where they just kind of go brain dead on the defensive side of the floor and they're not knocking down shots and they're not getting out in transition. It's going to happen.
Yep.
But I don't think there's any fear in my head about can Cleveland actually win this friggin' series. And I mean, last night is one of those games, T, that They could come out and blow the doors off the Knicks. They absolutely could.
Mm-hmm.
Or this thing is over in 5 because Cleveland can't recover from what happened last night, and they're cursed. So,
well, I mean, that's the thing right there is they're bloody cursed, and they might as well just go pack up their basketballs and go back to Lake Erie. I have a problem with the shot selection that the Cleveland Cavaliers have: 53 pointers, 22 or 42 pointers. Just I don't think that gets it done. Little more 2-3 balance there by the Knicks, in my opinion. 32 threes, 56 twos. The Knicks were big on the boards last night. But yeah, I mean, like, if you're talking about duos that scare you, Mitchell and Harden are not even in the top 10. I don't even think they're in the top 15. So, but by the same token, the Knicks found themselves freaking buried in the fourth, and they managed to come back and win.
Yeah, and our guy Kevin O'Connor on X today, in that 44-11 run over the final 7:45 of regulation and overtime, the Knicks shot 15 of 20. The Cavs shot 4 of 18. Brunson had 17 points on 8 of 10 shooting. Harden and Mitchell, 3 points on 1 of 10 shooting. The Knicks had a 173.2 offensive rating, and the Cavs had a 50.6 offensive rating. Like,
that will do it.
How your guys, and I get it. Like, and this has been the Hardenese, or whatever we want to call them today, defending James Harden. Like, he was able to guard everybody on the floor, and he does all this stuff, and he does. I'm not going to dispute that. You see Harden a lot of the time stuck on like Mitchell Robinson because he can defend. He's very similar to Draymond Green and a bunch of other guys that I'm going to just not be able to name right now, where they defend over their position all the time. That is a huge thing. He also draws a lot of attention. That is a huge thing. But he's a liability, and this is the thing that the James Harden supporters still don't understand. He is not James Harden from 5 years ago. He's not the same player. And you saw the Knicks 1,000% say, you're the liability, and we are going to make you look like the liability. And that's what they did, and that's why they were able to get the win. I'm not pinning it all on Harden. I mean, the whole team didn't show up. But, how at that point does Kenny Atkinson not see that, T?
Dude, I have no idea. I mean, you had plenty of opportunities to slow the thing down, and you did not bail your team out. There's 5 guys on the floor playing defense, and it seemed like all of them couldn't do, not for nothing, couldn't stop a beach ball last night in the last 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, and it was freaking miserable. 21 times last night, the Knicks got Harden into the screening defender position in the fourth and overtime. That was accounted for 1.6 points per action. Mike Brown has always been an underrated coach, dude. A very underrated coach.
That is such an incredible stat. Such an incredible stat. Like,
yeah, it's amazing.
Like, you can do better, but you can't do much better than that. But it just shows you, it illustrates perfectly the liability that's in play here with James Harden. And, I would expect in game 2, I would expect the Cavs to do something about that situation. But I mean, dude, the Knicks have absolutely all the mo right now.
Yeah, absolutely do. And again, playing in the Garden, and we know what Cleveland's track record is on the road in the postseason. I mean, obviously they got the big win they needed to get to this round, but other than that, they've been god awful on the road. And like, I don't know what it is, man. That building just continues to produce memories and moments. And again, when there's villains, it's great for the sport. 15 of 29 for Jalen Brunson last night, which absorbed the 2 for 9 shooting performance from OG Anunoby. They were also able to get the huge 3 and clutch 17 minutes out of Landry Shamet off the bench last night. Mikal Bridges showed up to play. Karl Anthony Towns, double-double, 5 assists, did have 7 turnovers last night. But offensively, man, they're doing everything they can and everything they need to do right now. And I'm fully, honestly expecting, and we'll get more into this tomorrow on Lunchtime Live, but right now, if you made me make the pick right now, And the Magic Coin is back tomorrow on Lunchtime Live. But if you made me make the pick right now, I'd say that series goes back to the Rocket Arena, 2-0 New York.
+1. I think you're right there. 2-6 the Cleveland Cavaliers on the road this playoff season. They got the 2 big wins in Detroit, but man, it's that huge blown lead that stands out right now. So yeah, big game 2 for the Cadavers.
11 points for SGA right now and 12 for Stephon Castle. 48-41 Thunder with 7:34 left in the second. Let's move on over to the ice and what's going on there. We finally got the Western Conference Finals underway. Let's start there while that game's going on right now, T. And best on best, you can't ask for any better here. I'm still kind of blown away by just how many people are just pushing off the Knights as a non-factor here. Dude, this is a dangerous team that I think is really, really starting to peak right now, and they've weathered the storm early in Colorado exactly how you need to.
Well, if you go back, I believe it's the last 20 games, the Knights and the Avs have exactly the same record. So and we've seen Tortorella's stamp being put on this team. He was brought in, he was brought in for a reason. This team was getting decent defense, but their goaltending was straight ass for pretty much 5 months. Carter Hart has been absolutely sensational. And here's a guy that they bring in off the scrap heap after he did his penance. But they needed him because their goaltending with Aiden Hill has not been stellar. And so Carter Hart comes in, he gets the nod towards the end of the season. He gets the nod in the playoffs, and he's been great. And this Vegas team is big. They are fast. And with Mitchell Marner, they are more skilled now. And that is a dangerous combination. The Avs are who they are. I mean, they are sensational as well. I mean, they've got all the names there. The goaltending could be a little bit of a weakness here. They don't need great goaltending. They need good goaltending. They get good goaltending, they'll raise the cup.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And so far tonight, Scott Wedgwood, who they did go back to between the pipes, has looked just as good as Carter Hart has. And you know, I never understood this. Maybe it's just because of the sweater he was wearing, but like the hate on Mitch Marner for like what he didn't do in Toronto, it's been really cool to see him. And you can tell, like in his interviews, in just seeing him on the bench and the way he's interacting and everything, like how free and how loose he looks right now. And obviously that's translated into one of the main reasons, as you just mentioned, why Vegas got to this point.
Well, that's because in Vegas, he doesn't have to be the guy. Like in Toronto, he was the guy. He was the playmaker. He had to set up Austin Matthews for 8 seasons. And when that team didn't have success, it was Matthews, it was Marner, it was Nylander, it was Tavares, and it was Riley. And it was all their faults, right? Even though their goaltending was not so great at the end, they put together a defense with duct tape and Bondo, and it just wasn't going to get it done. In Vegas, he can just be a guy. He can just be, there's no pressure on him. It's Mark Stone's team. It's William Karlsson's team. It's Riley Smith. It's these guys' team. And Marner can just be a dude, and he's just being a freaking magical offensive player.
Yeah, and just like you would expect with 2 of the 3 highest scoring teams in the NHL and us over 6.5 bettors tonight, there's 13 minutes left in the second period, and it's 0-0 right now. Brett Howden has had an amazing series for Vegas, and, you know, tonight no Makar, no Stone, but the depth of these teams is obviously another main reason why they're there. Brett Howden's an 8-way tie atop the single postseason leaderboard in NHL history with 3 shorties so far in the postseason. I fully expect him to make that happen. I really hope he does too, because right now I'm at a plus $5.44 on something that we're not going to actually show on the show because I don't want to jinx it, but I'm waiting to see how that changes. When you flip it over to the Avalanche side, obviously we know where their cupcakes are made, as Vegas Max said last week, with Nathan McKinnon and everything he does. But I'm really torn here because Colorado has a guy on their roster that I really desperately want to see win a freaking cup. He was a cult hero in San Jose. He was part of the change that made the Sharks really good, and that's Brent Burns. But like, you go up and down this roster, these are just, and they're not just one-way players. And that's, I think, the other thing that makes both of these teams so effective is they're guys that score. They also defend too, and they're all pretty good at it. And like the thing with the Knights, and I think the Avalanche take a very similar approach here, but we know the Knights do because it's Torts. It's defend first, attack later, and that's where both of these teams can absolutely get you. We got 32 shots on net so far in this game, and we're not even 28 minutes into it. I mean, that's what it's going to be all series. And again, why I think that the for me, the advantage does slide to Vegas.
I still like Colorado in this series just because they have been getting so much depth scoring in these playoffs. Like, it's borderline ridiculous. They got 17 different goal scorers. A guy that, but you can look at the Avs and like, man, they're top to bottom, man. McKinnon, Makar, all these great. Martin Necas has been kind of invisible this entire playoff series, and I don't expect that to continue. I expect him to eventually break out. They're paying this guy a ton of money. He's got to produce. You need your stars to produce. So I'm looking at him for Colorado as kind of my X factor, just because he needs to get going.
Yeah, no,
this team defends like a mother.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Necas is my key for the Avs. My key for the Knights is Tomas Hertl, who has basically been non-existent. He finally got that got himself off the schneid with getting the goal in the last round. But like, there's depth, but there's certain guys that you're expecting to do certain things, and Hertl has been just kind of like Necas we were just talking about. He's been non-existent for the Knights. I think if he has a good series here, that's a huge swing for Vegas. I mean, obviously, anything Brett Howden does from this point forward is more than you were expecting him to bring to the table. I think Hertl is a huge part of if they move on to play one more round.
You know, I'm going to take the L for Tomas Hertl because when I went and saw them play Minnesota in late December, Hertl got a misconduct penalty 3 or 4 minutes into the game, and it seemed like ever since then he'd been ass. But yes, he definitely got off the schneid. He got that late goal, I believe it was in game 4 against the Ducks, and then he just started to play like Tomas Hertl. Maybe he's just gripping the stick a little bit too much because players are going to do that. We saw that with Buffalo, and I personally, I thought I saw it with Alex Tuck, who just couldn't seem to get it going. I think Hertl might have been just kind of gripping a little bit. And once he got that first one, it seemed like it relieved a lot of pressure, and he's been able to do Hertl things again. My X factors for the Knights, you got to get Mark Stone healthy. But William Karlsson, since William Karlsson has come back, this team has been 100% just different on the offensive end. They got him teamed up with Mitch Marner, and I think that is a huge, huge win for the Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be fun to see this one keep going on. We'll keep you posted as to anything that happens while we're here. 12 scoring chances for the Avs so far, 10 for the Knights as we're approaching the midway point of the second period. Still no score from the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. And, that was a nice little rush there. Let's talk about, the Carolina Hurricanes are still alive in the postseason. Wake them up from their nap. They get the Eastern Conference Finals underway against the Montreal Canadiens. Mac and I did not make our bet, and I go, hey, we're not talking about lunch like one of these times we meet up. I am going to pepper him in the group text message every night of Habs and Hurricanes here. I'll let you start. Habs and Canes, ECF. Best two teams, I think, without a doubt, in the East this year.
Yeah, I mean, what do we got? We got, of the 4 left, we got 3 division winners, and we've got a third place team in the Habs that could have won any other division. This is going to be very interesting because I want to see if the style of play that Carolina plays, I'm wondering if Montreal is just the right team to kind of crack through that style of play and force them into a long series. We know that Montreal is getting the goaltending that they need. I mean, Dobish has been absolutely on fire. He got pulled in game 6, but it was kind of like I got the feeling that he got pulled just so he could go get an early shower and get in the right mindset for game 7, and he absolutely did. But this Carolina team just is absolutely relentless. They just pound you and pound you and pound you. I think that Montreal has the skill to get through and score more than Philadelphia and score more. Who did they play in the first? I can't even remember who it was. It was so freaking long ago. But I think Montreal is a better matchup here. I think we've got a great Eastern final on tap.
Yeah, and I brought that up last night with Mac too. Like for Jakub Dobish to go and get pulled in an elimination game at home in Game 6 and come out and play the way that he did in Game 7, like it's been great. And I think that's been the most impressive thing about Dobish is, and I brought up the stat last night. Yeah, they have had to play 2 Game 7s. There's a million different interesting things about this matchup in particular. You have the team that's played the most games against the team that's played the least amount of games here. But like, for even when Dobish has looked a little shaky at times, like I think it was Game 5 where it was 3-2, like right away in the first period, and he completely settled in after that. And I think at this time of the year, you have a goalie that can compartmentalize like that, and we've seen it, and we've seen why it's been a huge thing for them. Let me ask you this, because obviously the other thing that we know, amongst everything else that's in this series, there's a lot of different angles in the series I think are fascinating here. But Carolina was 3-0 against, or Montreal was 3-0 against Carolina this year and outscored them 15-8. So we're not talking about close games here. Do you put any levity into that from the regular season?
I mean, it's nice for Montreal to have that in their back pocket because they know they can beat the Hurricanes. But I mean, Frederik Andersen has been on one for this playoff series. He's given up 10 goals in 8 games. Like, that's just incredible right there. And, Carolina has had 12 days off. I mean, they've been skating and practicing, but they haven't played a meaningful game in 12 days. So that, I think, also benefits Montreal. I think it benefits Freddie Andersen for Carolina, but I think this really benefits Montreal because they've been playing the tough games night in and night out. This is their 15th playoff game coming up.
Yeah, it's like the other crazy thing about this series, and I can't wait to see it get underway. Really happy that we're on during the day tomorrow so I can really lock into this one. But the Canadians 5-0 against the Whalers in the postseason, but they're 0-2 against the Hurricanes. And like, there's so many of those things as you go down the list here when we sit here with these two. Freddie Andersen's been freaking ridiculous right now. But and Max said this, being the Carolina fan that he is, I was thrown off because usually when it comes down to betting stuff, Mac pulls some rando thing out of his ass. Like, wait till you hear what he pulled for Crossing Streams. But he said it 4 days ago on the show. Like, I fully expect Montreal to win Game 1 because of the layoff, and we saw what happened last night with the Knicks because of their long layoff. Do you think Carolina is in danger of losing? And obviously we'll make our picks with the Magic Coin tomorrow, but like, how do you assess the rest for Carolina, who's obviously said it's been no big deal? We would have liked to have played more. Dude, they could have went over and played tune-up games in the Worlds and came back and still been waiting.
Yeah, I think the wait is more. I think that time is more beneficial for the goalie, less beneficial for the team. I think I just checked; it was plus 165. I think that's great value for Montreal tomorrow, and I would bet that in a second. It's just going to depend on like Montreal needs to start fast. They need to make sure that they're on. They got to make sure they're on time. It's going to be a raucous environment, so they know what to expect there. But they need to be honest with you, I think they need to do exactly what they did in Game 6 against Buffalo. they got on the Sabres early. They got a goal from Chakai, which was like not even expected. And Chakai was like a hitting machine in games 5 and 6. I'd like to see them get a little physical with Carolina. But a guy for Carolina that I think needs to show up is Andrei Svechnikov. He seemed to disappear until the last couple of games of the Philadelphia series. They need, as much as that lineup is balanced out as far as scoring goes, they're not scoring a whole heck of a lot of goals, but they're getting scoring from a lot of dudes not named Stankoven. They need Svech to step up here.
No, I absolutely agree with you 100%. And I can't wait to see that thing start again tomorrow. Tomorrow on Lunchtime Live, we are going to bring out the Magic Coin for the first time since the NFL postseason, and try and drop a couple same game parlays to kind of make you some pizza money to early start your weekend. We're going to do the same thing, Mac and myself, on Friday, in that regard as well. I mentioned this last night, and I felt really awful for the fans of Buffalo sports and Minnesota sports over the last 48 hours. And I'm trying to help them as Vegas just scored. Remember your roster, remember it. Was that? No. Coughlin. 52. Yeah, that
was Dylan Coughlin.
Yep, Dylan Coughlin. All right, anyways, we'll get back into that. So here's my plan. People of Buffalo, I need you to follow me. If you heard this last night, just stay with me here because I want to get TJ's take on this. So you grab yourself a Stars jersey. And that Stars jersey that might have a crease in it. You grab yourself a Cowboys jersey. And again, I don't advise this. I have not been there yet, but I would venture to guess you could get arrested for this. We need to throw the Stars jersey, the Cowboys jersey into Niagara Falls. Eliminate the Texas Torment curse. Now, again, not advocating for that because I have never been to Niagara Falls, but I'm pretty sure throwing things in Niagara Falls is against a set of rules that we've set up legally in the country. So we need to figure it out. But I think we need to do this before the Bills open the new Highmark Stadium, conveniently, idiotically placed on Thursday Night Football. That's a different story for a different day. But I think that's how we fix Buffalo sports, because high leverage games, overtime games, I think it's all the Stars' fault and the Cowboys' fault, and we need to remove that from the brainwaves, and that's how we uncurse, if you will, the Buffalo-Hausen sports scene.
Man, I think you need to throw in there a Mahomes jersey too, just for S and G's here,
just for future purposes.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's so heartbreaking. Like that was a nothing play on a shot that may have been deflected, but like UPL should have definitely made a save there. But it was really a nothing play. Yeah, I feel for the fans in Buffalo. Like, the scenes from Buffalo were probably the best I've seen in the playoffs so far. It was fantastic to see them go on that run that they did. But yeah, we need to find some sort of like bucket of chicken or like wake up.
Maybe we need to dip some wings in ranch one time.
It's like something, because this is so bad. Like it's like heartbreak after heart. I don't want to pile on here with Billy V, but it's just like it just seems like always the bridesmaid, never the bride, and it's man, it hurts.
We have to do something, and I'm gonna put it on us on the Mike Arana show. We are going to help the city of Buffalo lift their curse, and I'm sure that, and I don't know this for a fact, but I know we have verifiable sources on this, so I would assume that the city probably wants to see the Bills finally get a Super Bowl before they'd rather see the Sabres win a cup, but I don't think they would care either way.
No,
we have to, at the platform that we have with millions of followers and millions of people watching this right now, we have to take it upon ourselves to help the city of Buffalo, because the city of Buffalo is one of those cities that I hope that our show is 24/7 welcomed in, because I like beer, I like to party, and I like chicken wings. And I don't know if there's a better marriage for me than the city of Buffalo.
I even made buffalo chicken tacos on Monday night. I was ready to go. The only
Sick
thing
invite, bro.
The only thing I was missing was the Labatt Blue Lights.
Oh,
It was like we had total B vibes in the house, and yeah, it was just not to be. When they played the Broncos earlier this year, there were complete Buffalo vibes in the house, and it didn't happen again. So, I we might just need to do some sort of sacrifice. Maybe we need to go to New Orleans on the way there and get a Pat Mahomes voodoo doll, and then just like start sticking pins into it, like 15 of them. Maybe that'll make it happen. I don't know, but it gets to a point where it's like it's not funny anymore. Like,
no, it's really
the
not.
misery is not fun anymore, and so yeah, I think we're onto something here. I see a road trip.
Yeah, and trust me, I'm not like. Listen, Alex Newhook, that was very good for the wall the other night. But like, for Minnesota fans and Buffalo fans right now, I've just like, I felt this hole in my soul for them. Like, and Buffalo specifically, because especially you and I, we have a lot of friends that are Buffalo fans. Like, and I want to see them experience what I've been fortunate to see in every sport that I follow of my teams, other than in hockey. I've only been to the dance once there, but like, I gotta see the Bills win a Super Bowl. I mean, that would be freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I felt I felt worse for the Sabre fans and the Bills fans back in January than I did for the Cowboys fans and the Yankees fans when the Lakers lost that series to the Thunder in 4 straight. I felt way worse for the Sabres fans and Bills fans than those Cowboys and Yankees. I know they've had a tough run lately, and I know that, oh, man, it's going to be a long summer until the silver and blue can disappoint them one more time.
Oh my God! Somebody give Anderson a freaking Academy Award for what he just pulled. Holy shit, man! I thought we only saw flopping like that from SGA. Holy shit! Last night, Billy V also told Mac to stay the hell away from any Bills gear, because Mac put it on himself last night, because he has the flags of all the teams up on the wall, and when he was taking the eliminated teams off, as he does, he accidentally grabbed the Buffalo one, not the Anaheim one, so he thinks it's his fault that the Sabres are not moving on. But good news for the Sabres fans, and this is where we'll finish up on them here before we make some picks on the ECF. One thing I noticed, and somebody pointed this out on X too, so I felt smarter. When you look in the crowd, of like the crowd shots of everybody that was all in on this Buffalo run, a lot of young faces, a lot of next generation Sabre fans. I think that's a great thing. I think the other thing that they did right away today, which had to be done, Lindy Ruff got his contract extension. So hopefully the Sabres can put it all together. And that's why I'm putting like the second NFL week of the season down. We have to make this sacrifice and fix Buffalo sports, because I would love to see, hell, if you gave me the perfect Super Bowl that if my team wasn't in it, but I could see it and it would bring me great joy, I would love to see the Bills beat the Rams in Los Angeles this year in the Super Bowl. That would make me so happy.
Yes, please. Yeah, now the Sabres just need to work on what they're going to do with Alex Tuck, and bring
Alex Tuck needs
back
to work on what he's going to do with Alex Tuck too.
Yeah, exactly. But he's a Western New York guy. He grew up a Sabres fan. He's great for this organization. So yeah, great season for the Sabres, man. They have nothing to hang their heads about. Just a bummer it didn't go their way.
My NBA Finals prediction did not make it to the conference finals, either team. So, and Vegas just scored again. That was your boy, Pavel Skorofiev. Looks like it was 2-0 now, Vegas, with 4:57 left in the first. But I don't even know what the hell I was just talking about.
You were talking about your NBA Finals pick.
Oh yeah. Detroit and Denver. That obviously didn't happen. But my Stanley Cup Finals prediction, both of them have made it here. Vegas is up 2-0 now. I have Vegas in Montreal, so we don't need to dance around who I'm picking in the Eastern Conference Finals and why. And we've talked about the weird sports here. We saw Indiana win a freaking national championship in football. We saw Michigan win a national championship in basketball. We saw Rory McIlroy at the Masters. Like, it's been a weird sports here. This is the thing that like jumped off the page to me the most about this Canadiens team. Youngest team, average age at 25.8 to advance to the conference finals or the Stanley Cup Finals in 33 years. This ties the average of the other team atop the leaderboard, the 1993 Montreal Canadiens. I didn't need any more reason to go that route, but that one made me feel a lot better that my Stanley Cup final prediction is still entirely intact, and we're going to actually go a little bit deeper into that here in a second. But who do you like in the ECF and why before we get to the nuts and bolts of Game 1 tomorrow?
Man, I love this run that Montreal is on. They're getting everybody is on the wagon here. But I think Carolina is they are just giving off 2012 LA Kings vibes right now, and I can't bet against them. I like Carolina in 6.
Hater. Do you think Vegas and Colorado can go 7?
I think it can go 7.
Especially if Vegas steals Game 1 in Denver.
If Vegas gets the first one, then yes, definitely. And I also wanted to thank Mac for sending this to me before I made that pick. Thank you very much.
I'm sure. I'm surprised he had $20 in his wallet.
I had Colorado and Tampa Bay going in, so I'm still on the Colorado train. But Vegas is a lot better than a lot of people think, even though they finished the season technically under 500.
Big freaking deal. They were just playing with their food all year. Torts has this. How funny would that be? They win the cup. They go to offer Torts a contract. They want him back, and he goes, "Nope,
peace out. I'm
nope.
Good.
I came in for 8 damn games and won you a cup. Like, it doesn't get any better than this."
You would have to quit. You have to quit.
Oh, absolutely. Especially for a guy that's accomplished as much as he's accomplished. Like, that's the cherry on top. 8 games, you fixed what somebody else couldn't figure out. Boom, we're done.
Yeah. Like you go back to TNT and just go, you know what? I'm here. I am. I'm good. Thanks very much.
Yep.
I wish, ring?
Yeah, I wish I could throw this up here for you on the same shot, but I did a thing. So I'm going to let you tell me, and anybody watching, if you feel free to tell me I'm an idiot. That's fine. Like, I'm holding on to a couple of nice positions right now, and here's one of them. T. Take your notes. Maybe write down your stuff. Dollar amounts are none of your business. Everybody's bankroll is different. Not you. Nice. You know what the dollar amount is, but there's that one. And then there's this one. Now I'm playing an angle on this one here, if you see the bottom. So now that you've seen those, I have a position on the Spurs, a final of Montreal and Vegas, and the Cubs, or I have a position on the Knicks and the Knights to hold trophies right around Father's Day. Which one of those do you think is the better play? And maybe not for the dollar amount, but the position I might be able to be in.
Well, shoot, after tonight, it may be that second one. I absolutely called the Western Finals in the NBA Finals for a reason. I think both of those teams are outstanding, and if Wemby goes off the way he went off the other night towards the end of that game, I don't think Oklahoma City has anybody to match up with him, and I don't think the Knicks have anybody to match up. I think they did have someone to match with him, but they traded him. So if it comes down to Spurs Knicks, I love the Spurs, so I think that one is the better play, as a better shot. But at the end of the night, we may be 2-0, 1-0, and that one's looking really good, or we may be 1-1 and 0-1, and that one's not looking so great. That's why we love sports, right?
So you think that the one with the Spurs winning and Montreal v Vegas, I don't even care who wins in that scenario, and then the Cubs is a better. You think that's a better ticket?
I still think the Cubs have something to prove this year. I really do. I'm a big believer in the Cubs.
I'm a big believer in what my position will be if the Stanley Cup Finals is Montreal and Vegas and the
Mhm.
Spurs win, because I'm guessing that the cash out might make it worth my while to then
So
double
so
down on the Cubs.
so
And I'm
you
asking you this for a reason too. You know that.
so you need here's what you need. You need a Spurs Knicks final and you need
Mhm.
a Montreal Vegas final. So somebody who's on the other end of that ticket has to make a decision that has your interests in mind.
And I specifically did it with the same book there, but I put more money on one of the sides on a different book just so I couldn't have the book playing itself against me,
Mm-hmm.
which is maybe a sound strategy, maybe not here. The reason I bring that up is there is a gentleman right now who is holding a ticket and has been offered $540,000 to cash out. And the only two legs that he has left here are the Spurs to win the NBA championship and Colorado to win uh, the Stanley Cup. The other position on it was Michigan to win the national title in basketball and the U.S. to win the gold in the Olympics. I don't remember exactly what the bet was. I want to say it was around $100, but either way, he's being offered $540,000 right now to cash out.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't cash out and he hits 1.7 million.
Oof.
Because
Oof.
this is always a great debate, is like, some people are, you never cash out. Some people are cash out and then take some of the profit and double down. Some people are like, nah, the money was gone the second I bet it.
Man,
I've never been in a $500,000 cash out position, so I wouldn't know what to do.
it's very easy to spend other people's money. I say you
Yep.
hold on to it and you ride it out.
I think that's a good call. Also, a good call by me. I told you guys this. Pay attention to it for the rest of the postseason. Stefan Castle is at 17 points and assists combined, 16 points. Only one assist right now, as the Spurs are down 11 at halftime. Oklahoma City got him 31-20 in the second. So an 11-point game. Wemby only has 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 blocks. Sorry ass. SGA has 15 points, so definitely playing better tonight for them. I have Castle over 23.5 points and assists. Josh Castle, we'll just call him one player now. Josh Hart over rebounds and assists. Stefan Castle points and assists have been like my TJ McConnell and I can't remember who the other dude was last year, but I rode two guys like all the way through the postseason.
What was the Pacers, right? So it was
Yeah,
McConnell and
I want to say it was McConnell and Matherin.
that's who it was. It was Matthew.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been my freaking go-to so far this year. So we'll see what else happens. We're just gonna refer to it as Howden Watch. And before we get into crossing streams here, let's do a little check. As my kid's sending me, dude, we're gonna have to have a conversation off the air here in a second. Let's check Howden Watch one more time here. And I will tell you guys what Howden Watch is when I feel like we're past the point of cursing Howden. We've actually gone down $2.18. So interesting to see how that thing plays it out, as they are just finishing the second period at the Ball Arena with Vegas up 2-0 on Colorado. Now officially entering the second intermission at 2-0 there. We've got some crossing streams plays to make. If you're new to the program, we keep TJ in his favorite wheelhouse, which is hockey. We keep Mac in his favorite wheelhouse, which is Major League Baseball. And we keep me in my favorite wheelhouse, which is usually something hoops related. So we'll start with Vegas Mac's pick. And I'm going to be honest with you, T. Like, I like to bet our show plays a lot. I don't know if I'm going to even attempt this because Vegas Mac his crossing streams play in Major League Baseball tomorrow, and I don't even know where he came up with this damn number out of his anus, but he did. And he's playing Corbin Carroll tomorrow of the Diamondbacks against the Rockies in this horribly tough stretch for the Diamondbacks where they play 13 straight games against the Giants and Rockies. He's taking Corbin Carroll for 4 hits, runs, RBIs tomorrow night. Like, 3 is aggressive. I know you're playing the Rockies, but to go right to 4, like, part of me says that is way too aggressive and I'm not betting it. The other part of me says I'm going to kick myself if Mac went way off the reservation and went aggressively for 4 and gets it. Because theoretically speaking, if Corbin Carroll hits a home run, we're taken care of right away. 4 is aggressive, dude.
Is that? Did you say total bases too?
It's hits, runs, RBIs.
Hits,
so
runs,
has to have
RBIs.
a combination of 4.
Okay, so yes, so in his last game,
So he could be walked. He could be walked 4 times and score 4 runs, and we're good.
So in the last game he played, he went 1 for 3 with a run scored. That was on Monday or Tuesday night. On Monday night, he was, let's see. Oh, geez, they put up a 12 spot. Corbin Carroll.
Look who they were playing. You know why they put a 12 spot up.
2 for 4 with 1 run scored. So that's 3. And he was pulled for his last at bat. So that's kind of aggressive. I don't know if I like that very much, but I love the balls that Mac has here.
What? Tomoyuki Seguano on the mound for Colorado tomorrow night. He did pitch against Arizona on the 16th. He went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 2 earned, struck out 1 and walked 2. So familiarity, I guess you could say there. I don't know if I'm going to bet it because I think that's hella aggressive. Why don't you give me something that's a little more on the reservation, hockey-wise, for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tomorrow night?
Well, we just talked about how like Carolina needs Andrei Svechnikov to step up and become more of the offense here. And, you know, Sebastian Aho has had 2 empty net goals, which is not what you expect from your stars. But your boy Logan Stankoven has been carrying the offensive load the entire 8 games that they have played, which incidentally is just a little bit more than half of how many that the Montreal Canadiens have played. But I'm going with Logan Stankoven to light the lamp tomorrow.
I love it. I love it. And it's a smart pick based on what we've seen. Like tonight, I went with Brett Howden to score a goal for the Knights because the dude's on fire. So, like, yeah, Jesus. I don't need anybody to support his crazy ass ideas here, Billy V. I know he's heating up, but that's an aggressive approach.
You know what? If Billy V supports it, I'm in. Billy V's been really good to me the last couple weeks.
Yeah, no shit, he has been. I'm gonna keep it simple. Maybe it's because I was a little burned because he was at 13.5 rebounds and assists last night, talking about Josh Hart. And despite the game going into overtime, he still fell too short of it. Neither one of these teams can play a lick of friggin' defense. Nope. It's not either one of their specialties. And the number's at 215.5. So I'm taking the over in game number 2 at the Mecca tomorrow night. So we've got over 215.5 for Knicks and Cavs tomorrow night. We've got 4 hits, runs, RBIs, if it'll even let me bet that, for Corbin Carroll. And you're going with Logan Spankhoven to score a goal for Carolina in Game 1. Montreal. I cannot wait for tomorrow night. I'm so jacked that we're on during the day, like I said earlier. Like, to be able to dial in and freaking walk into that thing, man, I can't wait to freaking see it.
Yeah, I'll be getting home right around 5 o'clock tomorrow, and it is much must-watch television.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the nice thing is because of where we're at in the postseason, like we get those 5:30. It's basically that's our start times all the way through. Hockey's gonna have I think there's a 4 o'clock on one of the weekend games here coming up. But like, tomorrow night, definitely dialed in. The freaking you got Cavs Knicks game 2. How do the Cavs react? Is that one of the ones that can, kind of sink the Cavs right away and make that another long layoff for the Knicks, or what happens there, and then obviously finally getting to see Carolina back on the ice tomorrow. But I think the Knicks. I think the Knicks and the over and Montreal are two good areas that I like, as Jalen Williams ice pack on the hamstring yet again, going to the locker room with the Thunder up by 11 with 10 minutes left. What do you got on your mind that you might need to get off of your mind? Let's talk amongst friends.
Well, I know how passionate you are about the San Francisco Giants, especially this year, because they have been just a whirling dervish of success and with like little complications in the machine here. The Giants are just doing absolutely giant things. And I know you're here for all. Oh, wait a second. Maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. I don't know if you've been watching baseball lately, but the Angels gave up 31 runs to the Dodgers while scoring 3 at home to a team that they hadn't lost to in 2 years. And then they follow that up by allowing 15 runs to the Sacramento Nomads, a team that has the worst record of any division leader in Major League Baseball. And I've got to tell you, Mike, I just don't care anymore. Like, I don't care. The alerts come on my phone at 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night, but I'm already just sleeping or reading a book or watching playoff hockey. And I think I'm in that point of fandom that a team does not want me to be in. Like, you want your passionate fans who watch every single game and love the fact that you're doing great. Or you want the passionate fan who hates everything that he sees on the TV and calls in to Roger Lodge's radio show or whatever it is and says, hey, blind date guy, this team, they suck complete ass. They couldn't get anybody out. They couldn't catch a cold with a wet blanket. They couldn't do anything. But me, I just don't care. And I think there's something to be said about the silent majority, if you will, of apathetic fans that continue to get screwed over night in and night out by a bunch of guys who don't even really give a shit about them. They don't even know that they exist. But we as fans, short for fanatics, spend every waking moment obsessing over who's this guy pitching against tonight? Who is this guy? Where is Mike Trout in the lineup? What is Willy Adames doing? Helio Ramos is doing this tonight. Did you know that Matt Chapman hasn't had a hit on a night that he's gotten laid the night before in about 3.5 years? What is up with Matt Chapman? I just don't care anymore. And it's going to take a lot. And I think there's a lot of people like me. It's going to take a lot for me to get back on that horse. As far as I'm concerned, this team doesn't even exist. I'm loving everything. And it's even worse in Southern California because you have an example of a very successful franchise that plays its home games not a slap shot away from that same stadium. It is absolutely depressing. But you know what, Mike? I just don't care. And you know why? Because I've got the Nandalorian and Kirko chains in my front window right here.
Oh, the nicknames are incredible. Those two have been inseparable since Nando got to Vegas and started going through. They've been together like every damn night. I think it's hilarious. I can't wait till Kirk and his freaking wife end up going out for like dinner one night, and Nando is the babysitter. They're like, I love it. I'm with you, dude. Like I have completely turned off any notification that has anything to do with the San Francisco Giants right now because they are hot ass and not the kind of hot ass that you would normally refer to. They were just swept today by the Diamondbacks for the first time since 2022. They are god-awful terrible. Now, I do not agree with the notion that is going around in the Bay Area that Tony Vitello doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Rafael Devers forgot how to hit a fastball. Willie Adames looks like he's going to be nowhere near worth that freaking contract. And Matt Chapman's doing what Matt Chapman does, which is start every season slow as hell and then spend the stretch run making you remember why you love Matt Chapman. Bryce Eldridge is not getting on the field as much. Elliot Ramos is the worst defensive outfielder I've ever seen. And this team has no damn pitching because they would rather invest themselves in feeders than in a pitching staff. And now, after riding Logan Webb like he was golden freaking tempo, or down the freaking stretch at the Kentucky Derby for 5 years, he's breaking down in front of our eyes. Luis Arias at $12 million, it gives me exactly why I have hope in Buster Posey, because that contract is an absolute friggin' steal. The problem is if Buster Posey's smart, Luis Arias and Robbie Ray get shipped the hell out of town here before mid-July, because that's all you really have to go with. Ownership has to allow him to buy pitchers. With no pitchers in a pitcher's ballpark, you might as well call yourselves the Colorado Rockies. The difference between the Rockies is the Rockies have Chris Bryant's albatross contract, and the Giants have now done it 3 times on their infield. So yeah, thank God for the freaking Sharks, because I like, and you know what kind of sold it, team? We've talked about broadcasters and who our favorite broadcasters are. I'm very spoiled as a Bay Area fan because of Randy Hahn and Drew Remenda, and because of Dwayne Kuiper and Mike Krukow specifically. I won't go into anything else in the Bay Area. Not a fan of it. At least on the hardwood sport. Don't mind the football thing. But those 2 sports specifically. And last night when Kettle Marte walked off the Giants, Dwayne Kuiper literally signed off the broadcast and it's out of here. I don't have anything to say, Mike. I'm sure you don't either. So the final score is whatever the hell the final score was. Like, when Kuip sounds defeated, that's how bad it's really gotten in San Francisco. And it's not Tony Vitello's fault. Tony Vitello is not going to get fired. This is a team that has veterans that aren't worth a damn compared to what their contract is. At least my team shows a semblance of trying. I was watching your team because it's my favorite thing to do, apparently, is watch your team, because I don't want to watch my team. And the sell the team and don't like you Artie chants that were going on at the game last night were ridiculous. Like, if you can't compete in Southern California, it's because you don't want to, not because you can't.
So what? And you're in. You
got me fired up, man.
Oh, I didn't mean. Sorry about that. But
no, it's good.
You're in the hotbed of, or maybe it's not the hotbed of NFL action right now, where Jacoby Brissett is holding the team over the fire because he wants to be paid like
the most Cardinals thing ever.
But think about it. Think about how in 2008, 2009, how that town was painted red because of how good the Cardinals were playing. And now it's just like who gives a shit? And I think that's the worst type.
That was the most impressive thing ever. That was like a Dick Wolf cliffhanger right there. How did you do that?
I hit the I don't care button on the computer and it went. No, I think that's the worst. I think that teams, you can't afford to let your fans get into a state where they just shut everything off and your fans just don't care. I paid $100 to watch this shitbox baseball team, and they can just keep my $100. Just keep it. I'm good. I don't need to watch this anymore. You don't, as an organization, you can't let your fans get to that point. And we've seen more often than not, I'd say in the last 20 years or so, more teams get to that point. And I think that's bad for sports.
I agree with you 100%. Absolutely agree with you there. And that's the exact thing. And as we know, the unfortunate thing is we've got more, I would say 3 out of every 4 owners don't give a freaking shit because they operate it as a business, and that's why their teams are perennial freaking losers all the time. Kind of like me and Mike versus Mac. What do you think about this? I know this is our guy Billy V hoping for Christmas in like the middle of July here, but
I would love. I want that to happen so badly. I wanted to.
Do you want to see him go to the Yanks?
I'd be okay with that. This man has played 3 playoff games in his career, and he deserves.
What if
better.
he goes to the Dodgers? Would you hate it?
No.
I think. See, to me, if I was an Angels fan, I'd hate it because it'd be seeing Trout and Ohtani win a title together for that team. That would be why I'd hate it.
But here's why I wouldn't hate it. Because as a fan, I would feel vindicated. Because
that's a great point.
We watched it for 5 years, and due to incompetence or bad luck or maybe a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B, there was no sustained success there. And that would prove that it could happen, and the fan base would be vindicated.
Right now, 3-2 from Angels Stadium. The Nomads are up on the home team there. Jorge Soler went 432, big fella. Left center. Oh, that thing went on the top of the rock pile. It had to. It says left center 432. That's got to be up into the water. I would guess.
As Wayne Randazzo says, the California Spectacular. Ain't nothing spectacular about this nonsense.
No, dude. You haven't been to a game yet. Oh, you went to the couple innings of the one.
Yeah.
So you haven't even been to a full Angels game yet, which is saying a lot for you then.
My buddy said, "Hey, you want to go to an Angels game next week?" I'm good. I don't need to go. I can get in probably less than the price of gas it would cost me to drive there, and I'm just like, no.
Well, that's easy to do in California, dude.
Yeah, so it is what it is. I've got, but here's the opposite too, Mike, is that a team doesn't necessarily have to win for you to care. Like, no. I'm all in on what Clint Kubiak is doing right now. I love this. That video, I must have watched that video about 20 times and laughed my balls off every single time. So what they have going on over there, I think it's going to be you got to be in for the long haul, but I think it's going to be successful.
Yeah, Dylan Harper headed to the locker room for the Spurs. 77-73, 4:50 left in the third there. I was looking because, ironically, on the weekend that I'm supposed to be in Kansas City to see the Giants play the Royals, they are playing the Angels right after that. Unfortunately, it's not where I wanted them to play the Angels, because then I would just knocked on the door and said, hey, if I've got to watch this shit, you've got to watch it with me, and we would have taken the drive down there. But they're in San Francisco this year. So any final words for you on this Wednesday night where we're conveniently timing this to see a fourth quarter and a third period? Look at that. Whoever's steering the show needs a raise.
You know, I just had to look up. I forgot that the Hurricanes played the Ottawa Senators. It's been that long since they played meaningful games. But looking forward to tomorrow, my brother.
Good sign for my Montreal Canadiens. Picked the Montreal team in the PWHL. I believe just won their series tonight.
They did. They raised the Walter Cup.
You got Roz is trying to jump in on a road trip next year. You're not going to have to twist T's arm. It's a well. Last time I took it, it was a $50 Lyft ride down to a bar and a walk over a bridge. But yeah, I mean, we've told the story on the show before, T. The last time I was with you at Angel Stadium, a couple of cool things happened. Number one, I was passing out in my seat after a couple of monsters. Number two, you actually ended up leaving that series with a wife. So, like, I mean, it worked out pretty well for the last time we were at Angel Stadium. It's been a minute. We need to make sure that we make that happen next year. TJ and myself tomorrow, lunchtime live, 11:30, same bat time, same bat channel. Friday, Mac, again back on lunchtime live. We'll try and make sure he has a seatbelt and a helmet so he doesn't fall out of his chair again. But until tomorrow, watch the third period, watch the fourth quarter. Got some good finishes coming up for T, for Mac. I'm Mike. You know the drill by now. 11:30 tomorrow. Be on time. It's important.